to assume the audio is good. I'm going to assume the lag's good. If it's not, let me know in the live chat. Today's going to be less of a mindset day. This will be less of here's how to optimize your mental frameworks and how to make progress with this. It's going to be more just a straightforward lesson on how to structure your projects with your clients and you basically approach the writing process as a copywriter. This is going to be quick. I'm going to try and give it to you in like under 60 seconds, but this is the process you need to take, right? I'm going to cover the basic process and I'm going to add some refinements at the very end. So when you sit down to do a project, whether this is free value, whether it's for a client, I'm going to kind of use a client example as the main example here. But the first thing you got to do is you got to pick an objective. Okay, so you're trying to accomplish something with the words that you write. You're trying to get people to buy a product, opt in, et cetera, et cetera. There's an objective that you're trying to create. You have to define the objective first and foremost. It's not about just creating something. You got to create something for a reason. So you got to find that reason, pick that reason, define that reason. Once you've done that, then you go out and you do your research. Now, this research is split into two things. You're researching that person's products. Like let's say to your client, you're going to research your client, his products, exactly what's inside of them. And you're also going to do market research. You're going to go out, you're going to find something about your target market. You're going to find out what people are sharing that buy similar products online. After that, you're going to pick an avatar, right? So out of your target market, out of all the stuff, you're like, well, let's create one individual. Let's call him Bob. And you're going to kind of create that out of your research, right? Another part of your research is you're going to go look at every other significant competitor in the space. You're going to look at anybody who's selling something remotely similar to what your guy is selling. You're going to analyze their copy, their avatar, who they're talking to, their funnels, everything. You're going to analyze it all, and you're going to document it all. And once you've done your research, you should have a pretty good idea of who you're selling to, what you're selling, and why they should care, right? And kind of the best way to talk to them. Research takes a long time. If you do it right, research can take quite a long time. So once you finish your research, then you move on to the next phase, which is modeling. You could go pick a competitor, or you can go pick someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone in your niche, but you're going to go pick someone who has done a good job of marketing something similar to someone similar, and you're going to look at what they're doing and the piece of copy that you're going to write, and you're going to model that thing. So if they have a welcome sequence, you're going to model that welcome sequence. You're going to look at each step along each step along the sequence. You're going to identify what each step does, and you're going to kind of take that framework or that skeleton or that recipe, and you're gonna start with that as your first draft. That's gonna be the skeleton for your first draft. Or if you're doing a sales page, you do the same thing. You find a sales page for a similar product or similar niche that you think is doing well, and you're going to look at the steps that they follow. Okay, they tell the story here, they present the proof here, and you're gonna use that as sort of the skeleton of the recipe for what you're writing, right? That's important. You can do that from Facebook ads to Google ads to anything. YouTube shorts, it doesn't matter. You can go and find someone who's done something similar, that's achieved a similar objective, and you can model that recipe as sort of a starting point. So once you've got that, you've modeled it, there's a step here. Usually an idea should spring up, sort of a main idea for how you're going to do your promotion. You might take a walk, you might take a break, but there's going to be an idea that's going to click. It's going to be like, here's who I'm talking to and what I have to offer and the way I can market all sort of intersect. It's going to kind of come off in your idea, like your brand, like a cool idea. And that's your first idea. You're going to sit down and start writing. You do your first draft. You create your first version of it, right? Take a break, come back, review it. Okay, we've got a pretty good, solid first draft. You're going to send that to your client for review. You're going to go back and forth with them, iterating and improving and refining to match their voice and all that sort of stuff. Once you're done with that, then you're going to send it out into the wild and test it. You're going to let it run. You're going to put it in front of people and see the results that you get. And if you need to, you're going to continue to refine it. You're going to go back up to the research phase, continue to learn more, continue to think, continue to refine your project until it gets better and better. So that's essentially how you run a project. Now, that same thing happens for free value, right? You might do the same thing. There might be a little less back and forth. It might be a little bit faster of a process, but you do the same thing for spec work and free value, right? A big question a lot of you guys ask is like, am I in charge of the design? Who does that? That's something you're going to determine in the objective part when you sit down with your client. If you are the person who's going to do the design, you just model. You just find someone who's got a really cool looking page, and you just kind of copy and paste. You can learn how to use MailChimp or ClickFunnels or whatever. All those, like whenever you have a client, you can use that stuff for free. There's a lot of free alternatives to those things if you want to play around with now. But it's pretty easy, right? Design, they make it really easy to just drag and drop stuff. You can start with a template, make it pretty easy. So you don't have to worry too much about that. And if you ever do have to do any kind of design or different kind of extra creative work, just model someone that's done successfully. So guys, in a nutshell, that's how you manage a project. That's how you approach it. That's how you approach the creative process. There's a few refinements. Obviously, if you go through the bootcamp, I talk about each of these steps in greater depth. But that's just a quick refresher, a reminder for you guys so you can remember how to approach a project, how to do it well. So use that the next time you do some free value. Use that the next time you sit down with the client. Use that the next time you're trying to figure out when to create an avatar. Follow this process. It'll help you come up with the best ideas the most successful copy and help you guys win faster, make more money. Guys, it's been a good one. Got a lot to do. It's a wonderful Monday morning. Let's go out. Let's get it. Talk to you guys soon.